Okay, everybody, this is the 1-2 kid, man. I just want to talk about these two guys coming back. Lomachenko, you know, coming back from a loss, and Adrian Bruner trying to come back and, show the world that he still got what it takes and what have you. Um, but when it came to both of these guys, when it comes to Adrian Bruner, there's plenty of times where we've seen this guy, he just did not let it, like he didn't throw his hands, man, in the most important fights, and he just it kept his hands at home. And we can say that Lomachenko did the exact same thing in his last fight. You know what I mean? He did the exact same thing in his last fight. He didn't let his hands go when he needed to, and people are, oh, he needs a rematch and all that. But hey, man, I could care less, to be honest with you. If the man didn't have a rematch clause and he didn't let his hands go, give the man the credit on the other side for keeping that man's hands at home. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear it, man. And that goes for Adrian Bruner also, man. When these guys reach a certain, what's going on, Boxer Finesse? Holding the London crown down. When these guys reach a certain pinnacle in their careers, they have to put on a show. They can't not let their hands go in these moments, man. This is what's going to put them over the edge. This is what's going to put them to that next criteria, that next level, that next realm of success, is to take risks, not just getting in the ring with these guys. I've been hearing this a lot, and when it comes to Adrian Bruner, and I've been guilty of it myself, like this dude don't duck smoke, but what's he do when he gets in there with that real smoke? Is that enough just to get in the ring? I mean, I'm going to criticize it a little bit, you know what I mean? Because is that really enough? Just because these new guys ain't getting in the ring with each other, we're going to give another man a pass for not letting his hands go? You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I'm not doing it, man. And for as much criticism as guys like Mikey Garcia get for moving up, what did he do really that Adrian Bruner didn't do? That's a question. What did Mikey do so bad that Adrian Bruner didn't do? Real talk. Jumped up from 135 to 147. The only difference in that category is I would say Adrian Bruner has a better resume, but when it came to performance, his performances weren't up to par. So, I mean, I really put these guys in the same category. Because when Adrian Bruner jumped up to 147, he fought Paulie Malignaggi. When Mikey jumped up, he fought Earl Spence. And another thing is, Mikey beat the shit out of Adrian Bruner. Kept his hands home. So what I'm saying is I really put these guys in the same category. But the one thing I can give Adrian Bruner is he's supposedly dropping to 140 where he could probably do better. But that's where everybody wants to see Mikey at 140, because if he really wants to be successful, that would be the place to do it, no? He wouldn't be too heavy. He wouldn't be sluggish in there. And that goes for Adrian Bruner too. And both of these guys, are they disciplined? Really? Do they blow up between? I'm pretty sure they both blow up between fights, and they always have. So, I mean, let's just the fact that these guys are willing to give it up and get in there and scrap and challenge themselves, I'll give them props for that. But are they actually going in there to pull off the dub? Or are they good enough just to coast for 12 rounds and go home with the bag? You know what I'm saying? What's going on, Sporting? UGC? Chin Smoke? So I'm just curious to how you guys feel about it. What's your thoughts on it? Because we all share that one thing, the love for the sport of boxing, and we all have our own outlooks on things. And I'm curious to hear your side of the story and how you see it through your eyes. So I'm gonna drop the link. You're more than welcome to come on, one and all. Just keep it cordial for the most part, and you can chit chat for as long as this live is riding. There's the link. More than welcome to get up on here, and if you got some beef, we'll be more than happy to chop it up, slab it up, throw it on the grill, and serve it up. And for the hater waiters out there, you're more than welcome for a little while. You know what I'm saying? The guys just be waiting to hate. Waiting to be hating. Waiting to be hating in the background. Y'all don't be coming around too much though anymore. I think y'all got y'all got burned and y'all learned y'all lesson. Oh man. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. What do you guys think, man? What do you guys think about the Nakatani and Lomachenko fight? A lot of people are thinking that Nakatani is a super dangerous fight for Lomachenko. I'm not so sure. He's long. I'll give it to him. He's tall. I give him that. You know what I mean? He's definitely durable, and he'll keep coming at the same speed all night. But I think almost the opposite. I think the holes in Nakatani's game will make Lomachenko look better than he actually is. I think that he's got a lot of holes in his game. I think he's a bit slow. And I feel like he might have some moments in that fight, but I look at it like it's a good fight, but I still see it as a whitewash for Lomachenko. I really do. I don't think I think Nakatani he's got like an off timing that could throw a lot of people off. I don't think that that's going to work with his, but he doesn't have good timing. He just has an offbeat, herky-jerky timing. So I don't think that that's going to help him against a Lomachenko. Lomachenko, you need to have good timing and a jab and punches out there before he gets set. I don't see that in Nakatani. I've seen that in Teofimo. I don't see that in Nakatani. I think also a guy that I don't see a lot of people giving credit to is Jamal Charlo. He did that against Derevyanchenko. Before Derevyanchenko could get set, he was actually had Derevyanchenko damn near in the same position that Teofimo had Lomachenko in for all them rounds. Except Derevyanchenko was a little more active than Lomachenko, but he still, he had to take risks in there. He took more risks. But that offbeat jab, like that jab kept him offbeat. He couldn't find his rhythm to use his movement in that sense. That jab kept that man at bay for most of the night. And it wasn't just a power jab. It was a light jab. It was a strong jab. It was, you know what I mean? He switched it up. He changed levels with his jab. I think those were all good things he did. Like, I truly think that Jamal Charlo is a better fighter than Jermell. I just feel that Jermell moves better outside of the ring. He takes the big fights. But I do feel in the ring, Jamal's the better fighter. That's just my take on it. That's how I see it. That's another subject I want to talk about. And how many times, though, have we seen guys, right, where you're sitting there and you're waiting, right, for a guy to let his damn hands go. And you know what I mean? And this goes for Lomachenko and especially Adrian Broner, where you just like, go ahead, man. Let him go, bro. Yep. This is going to be the round where he's going to let his hands go. And these motherfuckers just don't throw they don't throw a punch. They're not throwing no damn punches. You know what I mean? They not throwing no punches, man. What up, Angel? I mean, what's going on, LaRon? But I mean, these are subjects I want to touch on. You know what I mean? What do you guys feel about what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? Let me know in the chat or hop on the panel. One or the other. We could do a Q&A, or you could just, you know what I mean? Let me know how you feel about Jamel Lomachenko in his next comeback fight against Nakatani, and Adrian Broner in his comeback fight. I think it's campaigning at 140. But I wouldn't be shocked if it's a 145 or a 144 bout when the time comes. I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked at any of that. I mean, we got fights coming on tonight too. I'm pretty sure Come's main event now, right? Come going to be the main event because Joe Smith isn't fighting, which kind of sucks because you would think that they would throw somebody in there with Joe. Did they got a guy to replace his opponent? They can't get a local guy. They can't pick up a guy to put that on them, you know, at the main event. I mean, even if the fight ain't sanctioned, it's not his fault. You know, it's not the other dude's fault either that he caught COVID. So, I mean, the money, he still got to get paid, right? You don't want to go through all that training just to be, you know what I mean? Just to say, nah, man, you ain't fighting, man. I think the DT3 talked about that a couple of times where he would just go through a whole shitload of training and just be like, they'd be like, yeah, man, do pull out the fight. This happened. That's gotta suck. That's gotta suck, man. When you putting in that work and you putting in all that work, you running, you hitting the bags, you training, you sparring, you all hype, you know, you just made weight, you making weight, and motherfucker, you eating right, you motherfuckers like, yeah, dude ain't gonna make it, and you ain't fighting. Like, fuck. Unless you want to jump up and wait and fight this guy, that's the type of shit fighters have to go through, man. That just sucks. That just sucks. But hey, man, don't seem like anybody really got anything to say about it. Do you guys think Nakatani got a chance against Lomachenko? You know, you think he's gonna beat up Lomachenko? I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening at all. I think in his last fight, he got touched a lot. And I'd have to say that the one thing you can say about Lomachenko, he ain't got stamina issues. I ain't never seen him with a stamina issue. I mean, he was a little gun shy in his last fight, but stamina, I don't see that. Always in shape, always ready to go, always ready, you know what I'm saying? I don't see, I mean, came up with excuses when he took that L, though. Came up with excuses when he took that L. And, you know, I don't know why people are so, like, I see that he's not undefeated, that he lost to Salido. But does anyone here actually think Salido beat Lomachenko? I didn't. I didn't think Salido beat Mikey Garcia either. A lot of people run with that narrative all the time. Oh, he quit. Dude was beating, Mikey Garcia was beating the shit out of Salido. He dropped him 4 times, rocked him like 3 times, not including the times he dropped him, and then got headbutted, broke his nose. And then the fight got stopped. Yeah, you could fight with a broken nose. Guys fought with broken jaws, you know what I mean? But when guys resort, and it was intentional. So if I'm putting on a hell of a show and I've got this dude buzzing every time I put my hands on him, and I'm from round after round after round, and this dude resorts to a headbutt to break, How do I know another one ain't coming my way? And my eyes swell up, and I can't see this guy coming. And you know, the ref says it was a punch, even though it shows that it's not on a replay. Then I lose the fight. And what I do wrong other than get cheated? Is that any different than a guy coming in with some shit? Cheating is cheating, man. So I don't know why people think that Salido beat him. I don't think so. Spence beat that ass. He couldn't get off. The same way Lomachenko couldn't get off. Couldn't get off. He had to keep his hands at home. He had this dude letting his hands go on him all night. The same way Danny Garcia. Was it much different than the Mikey Garcia fight? Be honest. Was it much different? He let his hands go a little more, but he ain't wanna risk it and let his hands go either. That motherfucker was like, I'm not letting my hands go. This dude cracking the shit out of me. He gonna throw something with some power. Pop, 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 pop. Just kept his hands at home. And that's what I like to talk about. I like to talk about shit that goes on in that ring. Fuck that shit outside of the ring. I don't care about that shit no more. Contract ain't signed. I don't give a fuck. I don't care about the social media. I don't care about how big these guys is talking and how everybody's A-side, all that shit. You know what I mean? I don't care for the trolls. You know what I'm saying? But I don't care if I got 2 viewers in here. I'm gonna speak my mind about this shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck. You know, because I got love for the sport and I want to see the sport grow. You know? I don't know where the homies at. I guess they're getting it in right now. They got things going on. But the panel is open, man. You know? So, hey, anything y'all want to talk about? I had some time on my hands, so I figured, fuck it. Let's go live. Talk about some boxing. Somebody, everybody, anybody, scream. What's up, Tommy? What you think, Tommy? You think Nakatani got a shot against Lomachenko? Actual finesse, black chin, LeBron, sporting advantage, aka Wilder Savage. Yeah, man, that's pretty. That documentary, man, everybody talking about it, about that whole Tyson Fury mess, but I can't find it. I read some stuff on the Callahan family, but in the same token, man, yeah, it can be talked about. It's something to talk about. Shit. But I'm curious to how they corrupted certain stuff based on the fact that a lot of these guys that make money outside, whether promotions and networks, were built on corruption. You know what I'm saying? Shit, some people got their presidencies built on corruption. So that's just more to flame. You can flame that forever, especially in boxing. I hear people saying that it's unheard of that you can't cheat in boxing. I'm like, what? I can't ride with that. You know? I mean, I've seen people cheated in boxing. I've seen corrupt judges. I've seen people put shit on their gloves. I think Ali and everybody always brings up Ali and Sonny, about how They think that Sonny took a dive, but what about, wasn't it Sonny that, wasn't he the man that put the shit on his gloves to blind Muhammad Ali? Well, Ali was fucking blind in there fighting. He couldn't even see. Wasn't that listed? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, all rules. Yeah, people gonna find a way to break the rules, man. Absolutely. Absolutely. They're gonna try to find the edge, and then you got to, you know, have a governing body to say, oh, now we got to change that now, because now they found a way around that. So it's a constant battle outside of the ring and inside of the ring, because money talks. And to get these big fights, certain things got to happen, and there's got to be investors. You know what I mean? There got to be investors out there. So, you know, you're not sure who's investing. You just taking the money and saying, okay, yeah, cool. You know what I mean? You investing in this, wow. And then it's just your job to make sure that the product that you're selling is top notch. So sometimes that's what the stock market is, man. It's based on motherfuckers basically just investing. That's how business tends to work nowadays. You don't see like certain people do it. Certain people will do a background check on investors, but that's a slow dying breed. People see the cash that nowadays they just take it. They go, all right, I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't see Nakatani giving Lomachenko much trouble. I could be wrong though. I could be wrong. I think the holes in this game will make Lomachenko look like a master in there. Even though he has the attributes to give him problems, I don't think he has the skill set to give him problems. I really don't. I think he got good feet. I think he'll turn with him, but I think his hands is way too slow. And he gets hit way too much. And I don't see Lomachenko getting tired. But who knows, man? Who knows? Maybe Lomachenko's shoulder might start hurting him again if he starts losing. I know y'all like that. Some of y'all don't like that, but it's the truth, man. And that's my only problem with Lomachenko. I'd never diss Lomachenko. I always thought he was a great fighter. I think he's a fantastic fighter. His skill set is great. But, I mean, you can't blame Teofimo for beating him. You know, like you can't be mad at him for beating him if Lomachenko ain't listening. Well, he deserves a rematch. It's like, okay, he might deserve a rematch, but if you go by their resumes and you go by what they've done in boxing, honestly, Teofimo shouldn't even be on his level. And the fact that he beat him hands down should say a lot. Well, he won the fight, but he got his ass beat. I don't see that. How you win a fight if you ain't punching? How you win a fight if you ain't letting your hands go? You win in portions of the fight, but it's based on rounds. That's how they score fights. This is why Floyd Mayweather was undefeated. I think Keith Thurman said it. He's the best 7-round fighter I've ever seen in my life. He knew what time it was. He paid attention to the clock. He knew where he was in the ring. He paid attention to the rounds, which rounds he won, when to take time off, and when to let his hands go. And you can't be mad at him for that. He had a blueprint when he went in there to whip your ass. But no one could find a blueprint to whip his ass. You know? And maybe they weren't thinking deep enough. Maybe if they applied that to their game plan, like this dude gonna want to turn it up at this round. If I get off on this round, he gonna want to turn it up at this time, and that's when he's gonna be open. Like nobody really put that into perspective. They were just like, I gotta hit this guy. You know what I mean? They didn't know when there was going to be openings. And if Floyd had to win a round, that's when he took a chance because he didn't want to let that O go. Castillo, yeah, we scored that Castillo fight though. I think it was me, and believe it or not, oh man, I'm not gonna call him IBT. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all know who I'm talking about though. What's going on, SA?
Yo, what's up, 1-2 Kid? How you doing today?
Hey man, what's going on?
Nothing much. And I think you were thinking about Intangible.
Yeah, Intangible. Me and Intangible scored the I did it on his channel. We scored the Castillo and Mayweather fight, and we had Mayweather winning by 2 rounds after we rescored it. Like, because I remember the way I remembered it, the nostalgic part of Floyd don't get hit and this don't, you know what I'm saying? But when you rewatch it and you really score it and you take all that out and you just score it round by round, he won by 2 rounds, and even he had the same scorecard as I did. So, you know, that's what it was. And then he came back and then he outboxed him. You know, good fight though. And he definitely had you know, he had his moments, a lot of moments against Floyd, but Floyd pulled it out because you judge a fight by rounds.
Yeah, I liked they did that there for a while. I think IBT, Intangible, and even Raider, he did one on the first fight between Wilder and Fury. But yeah, that little thing that they were doing where you could like join in and rescore it with them, that was pretty cool. But about Nakatani versus Loma, I think that Nakatani is going to cause a world of problems for him.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I get what you're saying. I do see, you know, the fact that, you know, Loma can, you know, easily, you know, outskill him or whatnot. But this is the same guy that I know you don't want to say it, but I think he did give Teofimo a little bit of problems with, you know, being able to take the power. Now,
yes, he gave him a lot of problems.
Yeah. And now is Loma going to be able to, you know, make it Nakatani's eye puff up, you know, really bad by, you know, hitting the same spot because he's more technical? You know, maybe so. And maybe, you know, even Loma gets him out of there and it's kind of like a shocker or something. But I do think that it's a really good fight.
Yeah, I think it's a good fight too. I think that the size advantage is definitely in his favor. I just don't think that the skill is in his hands. Like, I don't think he can capitalize on his size. To be honest with you, I don't see him turning with Loma. I don't see his hand speed keeping up with Lomachenko. Like, I think these are things. The explosiveness of Teofimo is what kept Lomachenko's hands at bay. I don't think that this dude's right.
Yeah, like you were saying, the hand speed I do agree with. And, you know, it was more or less, you know, Teo was always beating him to the punch and, you know, always had the quicker hand in that fight. But it was just, you know, the onslaught of pressure that Nakatani, you know, brought with him. Like, you know, they weren't that fast, but, you know, freaking
pressure
30.
Breaks pipes, man. I said I could be wrong. What you think, D? How you doing?
What's up? What's up, 1-2? What's up, bro? I don't know who you are, but yo, Nakatani is gonna be a problem for Lomachenko, man. That 70-inch reach, 70.5-inch reach, and that freaking height. Yeah. He got a similar problem like Teo. I agree with you. Teo's faster than him, and like he can spin out. When Loma pivots out, Teo can spin on the ball of that inside foot. He did it and caught Loma with a hook. So probably won't see that type of thing from Nakatani. But I think you're underrating his hand speed, 1-2. He's got pretty decent hand speed, and he does know how to work his jab. So he come off with that straight right off that jab, which is something Loma's gonna have to worry about because Nakatani got power with him, and he's gonna be able to keep him at bay for, you know, for some part. Loma gonna figure his way in, but he's gonna be able to keep him at bay with that long jab, man. And he set up Felix Verdejo with that jab right.
Yeah, but what the thing about it is this. All right, now I picked Nakatani in that fight, and I was looking back for like 5 or 6 rounds.
Yeah, we both won. I picked him.
I looked great at the end of the fight. But this what I'm trying to say is I don't see with Verdejo. Verdejo got tired. I don't see that happening with a Lomachenko. And don't get me wrong, Verdejo got way more reach and a better height advantage. You know, and got height. He got good height too. So all those things come into play. He got good speed, good movement. But he was just going for the bolo shots all night. And when he was in trouble, he was just trying to get him out of there, thinking that he could get him out of there. And he punched himself out and then got punched out.
Well, you got to remember too that Nakatani came off of a severe injury. Tio put that dude in the hospital for a week, and then he retired. So he came out of retirement to fight Verdejo. He was gone from boxing for 17 months, bro. So it was a little like, you know, him being out of the ring involved with
rusty.
That,
yeah, a little rusty.
Yeah, yeah. So all of that played a factor. I mean, because he had retired after the Teofimo fight. Like he gave Teofimo hella fight problems in that fight, but it cost him. All those shots he took from Teofimo, he was in the hospital for weeks after that. Then that was part of why he retired. Because Nakatani not young. He Lomachenko age.
Right. But I mean, I get what y'all saying, man. And I do like Nakatani. I think he's a tough dude. Like he kamikaze. He don't care. He gonna fight all night. And he does have an offbeat tempo that I like about him. But that type of shit ain't gonna work against Lomachenko. Like that's like you need to have basic skills and your basics down to fight Lomachenko, man. Like you got to move with him. You got to have that timing down where you stick that jab out before he makes a move, before he plants his feet and pivots his feet. You know what I mean? You got to keep him. You know that's what kept his hands home. That's what kept. That's why I think Jamal is an improved fighter, man, because he did that against Derevyanchenko. Derevyanchenko couldn't move the way he usually moves because of the timing of this guy's jab. And that's one thing that Lomachenko got is damn good timing. When he was successful against Teofimo, it was due to timing. And there's going to be a lot more openings with Nakatani, I see, than there was with Teofimo. You know, and not as much danger. You know what I mean? I don't see it as dangerous.
I really think you're underestimating the danger. Not the time he can sting Loma, man. I'm telling you, that dude got a little pot with him. Cause it won't only Verdejo punching himself out. He rocked Verdejo ass.
Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is most of it was that this dude stopped throwing combinations. This dude started throwing one-shot punches. You know what I mean? He was trying to time them, but all his punches were wide. These ain't things you're gonna see from Lomachenko. You know, the one thing his punches are usually sharp and tight, and you know, as long as he's letting his hands go in there, I don't see Nakatani giving him too much trouble. He'll have successes here and there. But I see it as a UD. You know, I see it as a UD. I don't know if I see a stoppage because this dude don't stop. You know what I mean? I mean, pressure does break pipes. Y'all could be right. I'm not saying that y'all wrong. I'm just saying this the way I see it.
Yeah, you know I think after listening to what you were saying, I think I'm going to go ahead and change it. I think you're right because, you know, thinking back on it now, there was times in that fight that, you know, I want to say we watched it together or we were, I don't remember. I don't know. Did you go live for that fight, 1-2 Kid?
Yeah.
And I remember like there was points that we thought it was going to be stopped, you know, so you might be right here and Nakatani could be in for a world of trouble.
Did you pick Nakatani to win?
I did, yeah.
No. I'm talking about my man against Lomachenko.
Against Loma?
Yeah.
I don't even remember, to be honest with you.
Oh no!
Are you talking about
I don't pick him to win against Loma. I just think he's gonna give Loma trouble. Like I would still have to pick Lomachenko to win. I still think Lomachenko is the second best at lightweight. The only reason you could really call Tio the best because he got the belts, but shit, that fight deserved a rematch. So I mean, I still got Loma rated up there, like right with Tio for real.
Okay. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
my bad. I thought you were talking about somebody else. But yeah, I just switched back to Loma. I
yeah,
thought
yeah,
for a
yeah.
second there that Nakatani was gonna do it, but after listening to 1-2 Kid and thinking back to
Oh
the
yeah, yeah. I don't
fight,
want to get it twisted, 1-2 Kid. I won't saying that. Like I was just saying that he'll give him problems, but I won't never picking him to win. I still got Lomachenko. You know, like I said, right there with Teofimo. I mean, the rematch would be good between those two. Tell you the truth.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it would be a good fight, and I mean, I don't. Other than I'm curious to who Teofimo gonna fight after his defense, um, because I really would like to see him fight Haney, to be honest with you, and then
Yeah,
I don't see him having to prove anything because I really think Lomachenko bit himself in the ass, by not having the rematch clause in there,
yeah.
and what people keep failing to understand, well, a lot of Lomachenko fans is number one is I don't hate Lomachenko. Lomachenko is nice as fuck. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying this. I'm saying based on their accomplishments and based on their resumes and based on what they've done in the sport from the amateurs all the way to the professionals, should it, like Teofimo shouldn't have even been in there, and that's how Loma felt, and that's why he didn't have that lined up. You know what I'm saying? He just overlooked this kid, and this kid was it, they never been in there with each other, and they both surprised one another in the fight. And Teo had more moments than Loma did. You know what I mean? So, and that's all that happened. And I don't see what the big problem is. I mean, yeah, it'd be a great fight, and it may go the other way because it was a good fight. You know, who knows? Like I'm not afraid to fan for a guy and then see him lose. I'm just saying he really did it to himself. And if anyone gonna be mad at anybody, they should be mad at Lomachenko because he didn't put in the rematch clause. He came up with excuses after the fight that he didn't have any before the fight. I'm healthy, I'm good. So you believed everything he said before the fight. His word was good then, but now his word's good again at the end of the fight, and it's completely opposite of what he said in the beginning of the fight.
Right.
Like, how is he credible? Like that's just sore loser shit to me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I flamed the hell out of Lomachenko after that. Because I was like, bro, after the fight, right after the fight, when he did the little interview and stuff, I was like, man, Lomachenko not showing no class. So I had all the Lomachenko lovers come over to my live and all of that shit. I said, whatever, man. Your man making excuses. Excuses. I said, this was right after the fight, right? It was like, no, nobody's gonna be happy about losing, blah, 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 blah. Then he comes out with that video. And I'm like, now what y'all gotta say? But my thing is like, he was making excuses from the beginning. Y'all just didn't want to accept it. So then he comes out with the video. Now you can't even deny it. Just like with the Wilder interview that just came out.
Right.
He was saying that before, but now he come out with the audio. Now you can't deny it.
Right. And that's the thing. It's like it's funny how the Wilder fans and the Loma fans, how they are both different. They're different sides of the street, but they sit there and shun one another's fan. They're the people they fanning for, but the people they fanning for is doing the exact same shit.
Yeah.
So I'm like, to me, it's like I don't care what they look like, man. I'm judging them by their actions. This dude lost. He came up with excuse after excuse after excuse. All these dudes are doing that. It was this, it was that, it was this. I even flamed Manny, my shoulder, and it was like, what's not wrong with your shoulder, man?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to hear that shit, man. Like you signed a contract, you went in there, you knew exactly what you was gonna do. You know what I mean? And then you was in there with a guy that you couldn't do certain shit with this dude because this timing is everything, man. And the one thing that going back to Teofimo, going back to Jamal Charlo, and going back to Floyd Mayweather, which I don't think that they should be in that category just yet. They got ways to go. But Mayweather's timing was so on that, you know, that jab, whether to the body, the solar plex, or to the head, the timing of that would fuck your whole game up. It make you have to reset every time he threw it. Boom, you go to set. Boom, he touch you. You know, he just figure you out in there, and that means a lot in the boxing game. You know what I mean? Because a lot of these guys,
when you hit a guy in that solo plex, you don't have to have the most power for that shot to really hurt.
And then later on in the fight, later on in the fight, when you reaching for that second wind, it ain't really there like it was because you've been getting the wind knocked out of you all night, slowly but surely. So yeah, slowly. Like it ain't a lot on the shot. It ain't a lot on the shot, but it's enough to make you go, oh, you know what I'm saying? And then you like, before you know it, you ain't got nothing in the tank. And then this man just getting off on you. And the other thing I enjoyed about Mayweather is he was defensive even when he was offensive. That's why he didn't throw more than 2 shots when he threw it in combination. There'd be like a pause between in his combinations of like 3 or 4 shots because his hands would always be coming back when he was getting them off. So they would all look like pot shots, but they'd be in unison. You know what I mean? And I like that. Yeah. There was another guy who did that shit all the time, and that was Andre Ward. I enjoyed watching him fight too.
Yeah, Ward was a beast, man. These guys, they could figure guys out real well. That's what I see, man. That's what a lot of people don't see with Teofimo Lopez. He got a talent for figuring out what his opponents are going to do. Is the recognition. He shoot those little feints. He get in, you know, he lock it in real quick what they're going to do, what moves they're going to make. A lot of people think he just swinging blows. He timing those punches, man.
Yeah.
Those knockout punches.
I'd have to agree there.
Yeah, that double hook that he hit.
My bad, guy.
Yeah, that double hook he hit Magdaleno with to stop him. That was because Teofimo set him up by tearing his body up, and he feinted to his body before he threw that hook. And see how people don't pay attention to that. And Magdaleno dropped those hands and pow, he slipped it. He feinted to the body, boom, and came up with the left hook. And he caught him, and he noticed he caught him, and he hit him again with another one.
That's what Canelo do all the time. Canelo do that all the time. He beats up that body, and then he turns that left hook like he's going low, and he brings it right up. Bam. Every time. Like, I mean, and that's what it is those body shots take effect. That's why they drop in their hands. They're like, nah, I don't want another one of those. It don't fade away. You know what I'm saying? You can't shake it off. so
both of them studied Mike. They studied Mike.
Yeah. Well, Mike was a little different because he would let you throw a punch and he would be in position to hit you when you missed. Like the way he did it was like, I don't know, man. Like he'd always be in position where he would use angles. They weren't big angles. They were just enough. Like I'm here and you're there and knock, and where it was a fluent movement of slip the punch and now I'm in position and he just lets the punch go in one movement. And that shit was fun to watch, man. It was beautiful, you know. Shout out to Customato and Mike for performing it.
Yeah. But I think the biggest thing, going back to the Tio and Loma fight, the biggest thing that really changed it around for me was I think Tio was able to, you know, put on his plan that he wanted for the fight the entire 12 rounds. And that's something I don't think Loma's ever had to deal with. Like Loma, like, you know, saying Loma's like not up on the cards is just like unheard of. And also for him, like Loma's game plan, like he wasn't able to establish anything. So, you know, I could see like fight night him, you know, being confused on how he lost because he's just so used to always outworking his opponents. But, you know, when you look back at that and you watch that fight, or he had to watch the fight, you got to realize that, man, you know, Tia did a good job.
Yeah, and that was another thing that we were all talking about. I was like, Lomachenko bases a lot of his foot movement and a lot of his moves on your foot movement and you trying to gain position. Where you try to gain position on him and then you're out of position where he could go right or left, whatever he decides to do. I said, Teofimo ain't going to be fighting for foot position. He's either going to take it or not take it. He's not going to care. And I was like, that's the way he fights. And I think that's going to be, and he's explosive. So I think that's going to cause him problems. I didn't see it going exactly like that. I thought his power would be more of it would be, it would have more effect. It didn't. And that's why I don't think he was landing clean on, there was a couple shots that he landed clean on Lomachenko. And it didn't really, it knocked Lomachenko all the way back. So let's just clear this whole narrative that he didn't move his head, and whenever Teofimo got punched, his head went back. It's like, oh yeah, but Lomachenko's whole body went back when he got hit. Like his neck didn't move, but his legs moved. You know what I'm saying? Like his whole body went back. But getting off the point, like there was just moments there where the power didn't affect him like that. Like it didn't affect Lomachenko like I thought it would. It affected him, but not the way I thought it would. So I don't see Nakatani. I don't think Nakatani punches like Teofimo. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see Nakatani. He's got a good punch, an awkward punch. I just don't see it affecting Lomachenko. You know what I mean? I don't see it. But I could be wrong because he had some problems with, who was it, Campbell?
Yeah.
Campbell hurt him.
Yeah, but Campbell hurt him to the body, though. It wasn't upstairs.
Oh, he did. He hurt him upstairs, too. He hurt him upstairs for I think he had him in I forgot what round it was, but he did hurt him once and he just froze
that led from the body shots, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I see what you're saying. But I mean, that's the thing that Lomachenko don't look hurt, he just freezes. For a split second.
Going to that high guard.
Yep. He just freezes that's how Floyd was out when he would get hurt.
Yeah.
He would immediately go from the Philly shell to the high guard. He would do it. He would do it whenever he got hurt, and then he would take little steps so that you couldn't see his legs shake. He was a really intelligent dude. He knew when he was hurt. A lot of people don't. And
that's what he did when Shane rocked his ass.
Yep. When Shane rocked him, that's what he did. He just shake his head, go into the high guard, and then he walked him down little steps because he knew he couldn't take big steps, or it would show that his legs weren't really there. So he would just get back into it and then just, it ain't nothing. I'm telling you, man, he was a showman even when he was in trouble.
He wrapped Shane up real good. He wrapped him up tight.
Yeah,
he wrapped that dude up tight. He said, "Oh hell no, you're not throwing these blows at me."
Yep. And then after the first two rounds, he just made the adjustments and went to work on him the same way he did Zab.
He beat the hell out of Shane. I was like, damn, Shane, you had your chance. Shane got a little gunshot too, but I'd have pushed Floyd off and then went to work on his guys. He kind of got gunshot. He sat there, he was doing that dancing shit he do. I was like, Shane, no.
Yeah.
Push off of him and let that nigga have it.
I was like, yeah, when I seen that fight, I was curious to how Floyd would handle a real welterweight with power. And I got the answer. He got rocked, but he made the adjustments and turned it on. But and when it comes to Shane, man, that was the only time I ever seen him fight scared is when he fought Manny. I was like, yo, he fighting scared. Like he's scared. He was shook in that fight, man. After he got dropped, that motherfucker didn't fight the whole rest of the fight. He even told Nassim to stop the fight.
That's because everybody that get hit by Manny always say Manny hit harder than they thought he did.
Yeah.
Anderson Silva said Manny beat you up. He said he beat me up good for 3 rounds. They was fine. Anderson Silva from the UFC.
Yeah, man. Yeah. That's why I was like that Ryan Garcia fight. I'm like, I don't want to see that shit. he gonna wipe that kid out.
Man, I knew that fight won't happen, bro.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't either, but I'm like, what's even the point of even capping? Like, what you gonna do? Like, this dude just starting out, you gonna throw him in with that killer? That old man gonna he gonna old man strength the shit out of him.
I think Tank beats him.
You think Tank what?
I think Tank beats him.
Beats Ryan?
Yeah.
Well, I know I don't know about that. Like, I'm not sure. I ain't really studied it because I knew that was a cap too. But when I thought about that Manny and Ryan fight, I'm like, Ryan stand too straight up for Manny, man. Manny going, bop, 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 bop. That shit is not gonna be, and you ain't gonna be able to sell that face no more because it ain't gonna look the same. You know what I'm saying?
Believe it or not, he stand too straight up for Tank.
Yeah, that could be true.
I don't advocate for Tank. I'm not a Tank fan at all, but I just think he beats Ryan. Ryan's still got some more to go, but you know, this Javier Fortuna fight probably a good fight for them.
I think being on the shelf, Tank being on the shelf for as long as he is and not really testing himself, it's gonna hurt him when he get in there with a talented guy.
Yeah, it is.
Because he's a talented fighter, but when you get dusty like that and you just accustomed to, you know, all right, because one thing Ryan can do is he could crack. He could crack, man, and you know, I think Tank will trade with you to get off because, you know what I mean? Like, he don't have to, but he does. I don't get it, honestly.
Tank got underrated head movement. And the thing is, Tank is going to make Ryan miss before Ryan is going to make Tank miss.
That's true, but he don't always use it. That's what I'm saying. That's from being rusty, you know, or fighting guys that can't hurt you.
Yeah, that's what it's from.
You know, like, oh, I'm going to take this shot, and then he take one of them right or left from Ryan, going to make him change. He's going to put some head movement on him quick. He's going to,
you know, watch that Leo Santa Cruz fight. And people were talking about how Leo Santa Cruz was hitting Tank and all of that. And that was fine and dandy. I really believe that was part of the game plan anyway, but it is multiple sequences in that fight where he had Leo Santa Cruz missing 4 or 5 punches at a time. Man. You just go watch it back. I'm telling you, Tank had him missing like 4 or 5 punches at a time. And my thing is that Leo couldn't hurt him. He's going to utilize that head movement. My thing is when he gets into Ryan, that's the problem. It's not Ryan hitting him because I got more faith in Tank's chin than I do in Ryan's chin. I think they both have power, but I got more faith in Tank's chin.
So the question Tug is asking, if y'all was a Wilder manager, how would you manage his career to get him back on top, and who would you make him fight?
Brock Lesnar in the WWE. He'll be right on track, make all the money in the world.
I think that's going to be a Tyson Fury route after win or lose against in his next fight if he does fight for Undisputed.
Yeah, I think that too.
Hey, SA, what do you think? What would you do with Wilder? Who would you have him fight next?
I'd probably, if you want to get, you know, right back in the mix, I'd probably try and line up something with Dillian White or Andy Ruiz. But yeah, it just depends what he wants to do. Does he want to get back in line to, you know, compete for a title again, or does he just want to have, you know, a couple of good wins to end his career? So,
or pull the same shit that these other fighters is doing and just sit and wait on the champ, you know, instead of just taking your career in your own hands and doing and just being there and just being in that spot when they least expect it, and then you like, nah, you got to fight me now. You know what I'm saying? And when they hold you up and keep pushing you back, you still blasting motherfuckers out the water. I think I think an Andy Ruiz or who was it else that you said?
Dillian White.
White. I think those are both great fights for him. But I think
Chisora is a good fight for him too. But it's just like, I mean, I know Chisora just lost and people don't want to see that, but it's like, you don't have to go in there and, you know, fight Tyson Fury next just to be known. There's a lot of good names that, you still get to fight.
I wouldn't mind seeing him fight those guys or even Charles Martin, to be honest with you, because he's coming off a devastating loss too. So, and he hasn't been active at all other than, what he's been doing on, social media. So I would definitely get him in there with probably a lighter touch and then move him to a Dillian White or Andy Ruiz afterwards. And then just get him in the positions to where he's ranked all over the map. You know what I'm saying? Where you can't duck or dodge this dude. If I was his manager, that's the route that I would take. You know what I mean? Where he's staying active and he's going to be able to perform when he gets to that level, as to just throwing him in there after the loss and the mental instability of what's going on. And what this situation could cause with him, I would build up his confidence, get him in there, and then push him to that level. You know what I'm saying? So that he would still have a shot when he got there, as to just throwing him in there right away. You know,
I think Wilder got too much pride for that.
Well, then he's gonna have to humble himself if he really wants.
He did it this far, and look, if you just looking at the shit he's doing now. I'm telling you, it's too much pride. Because, look, he couldn't even show some integrity and just say, look, I lost. He's not gonna come and take some sucker, man, some light touch. If he was trying to, and then look, for the people who are hating on him, that ain't a good look anyway. And that's where the pride gonna kick in again. Because if you hollering for Fury, arguably the best, you can't come in and fight some low level opponent.
Yeah, well, I get that, but I'm just saying, man. Like, I would, if I was the manager. Back to the question, that's the way I would do it. And if he wasn't listening to me, I tell him to kick rocks. I got other guys that I could, you know what I'm saying, deal with at this time. Like, whether or not he was on some, well, me and I'm doing this and this is what I want to do and this is what you're gonna make it do. It's like, well, then you barking up the wrong tree, man. Go holler at someone who don't give a shit about their fighter. You know what I'm saying? That's what I tell him, straight up, because I'm not going.
1-2 kid, real quick. I'm gonna hop out. I'll hop back in just a little bit. I'm gonna watch this Hopi Price fight real quick, but I'll hop back in a little bit.
Okay, but yeah, man, that would be the route that I would take. You think Billy Joe beats Canelo? No, I don't. I think Billy Joe been off too long, number one, and at 168, he ain't looked like he did at 160. I don't think that this is his weight class. I think this is his lazy weight class where he can make it, but he just chooses, he's just taking the easy way out. I think that's a bad sign going into a Canelo fight. I do think he does have the attributes. If he was in shape and he wasn't as rusty as he's probably going to be, I think I would definitely better his chances in the fight then. But he hasn't looked sharp for a while.
Well, Sweet Hand should have fought BJF. They should have fought a unification match.
Yeah. I think that you raised a good point where fucking Andre should have, he should have exercised his right as the WBO champ, and then to move up if he really wanted that Canelo fight. Because if he's not going to fight Triple G, he's not going to fight any of these guys. I'm like, if that's the fight you want, that if you want to go a different route, Triple G's not going to fight you. They would probably better your chances at 168 to get a big fight if that's the route you're going, because Charlo's not fighting you. He's debating on moving up to 168. Everybody waiting on that Canelo fight, and then when they get it, sometimes they don't want it, or they get in position and then Canelo just moves again. So it's a catch-22. You rolling the dice no matter what you do. So I guess maybe he is making the right decision by holding on to the WBO at 160, because we've heard Canelo say, I'm going to be undisputed at 160 and at 154, and that those things never came to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
So he could be capping, and if you look at the history, that's what you're gonna get, whether you're a Canelo fan or not. It's undisputed, maybe at 168. We'll see, but is he gonna change his tune if Andre was in there? But now it's not gonna happen. So I don't know. Just my take on it, man.
I doubt he would have. I doubt it. I don't even. The Andre situation is like people keep hollering Canelo, especially at 160. At 154, it could be some merit to it. Not a lot, but some merit to it, right? Him just staying away from Andre for whatever reason. But at 160, listen, man, the zone got Murata and the zone got GGG, and they ain't did nothing to unify Demetrius Andre with either of those guys, right?
Yeah.
So people can sit there and keep hollering about Canelo. I always said that Eddie Hearn, like, he playing Demetrius Andre for a fool. And as a boxer, you got to be a little smarter than this, because what was the point of Eddie Hearn offering Charlo anything? Well, he knew Al Heyman wasn't going to do business with him. But that was the same face with Demetrius Andre to say, well, see, I tried to get you a unification match. No, if you really want to try, you got your hands in with the zone. Give me a fight with Murata or GGG.
Right. But GGG, he's just waiting on that Canelo shit too. And they're not trying to disappoint him, and he got stock in the market. So, so he's pulling his own strings, basically, when it comes to his matchups. So I think that hurts it. And the fact that I'm pretty sure they made offers to GGG, but, Triple G just don't want that fight. Just like I don't think he's big on that Charlo fight either. He's just waiting on Canelo, and I don't know, man. I don't know about that Triple G shit. Like, he waiting for that cash out fight, and I don't see, if he does get that Canelo fight, I don't see it going his way at all, because he's been on a decline every fight, man. Every time I see this guy in there, he looks, although in this last fight, he looked super chiseled out the blue. I was like, this dude looked like a brand new guy. Me and Kong was talking about it. I was like, who is this guy?
Canelo gonna beat the hell out of GGG in the third fight if it ever happens.
Yeah, I would think so too. Judging by what we've seen out of Triple G, I would have to say so too, man. He's slowing down. He's aged out, and I think he's just waiting on that cash out fight, and then and then he's gone. I think he's gone after the Canelo fight, because he's just lingering. That's why I don't even mention the dude, honestly, because if he ain't gonna try to fight these guys out here, I mean, this dude could move to 168 if he wanted to, and claim, you know what I mean, and do something there if he wanted to, but he just don't want to leave 160. He just kind of set in his ways. So I'm not big on Triple G. I don't
blame him for not leaving 160, especially at this stage of his career. Like, I really don't blame him for that. But not fighting the other guys like Murata, Demetrius, Andre, Charlo, that's a mistake.
Right, and that's what I do. I deem him, insignificant in boxing, because other than him being a name on someone's resume, a younger guy's name, a younger guy, I don't see any other reason for him to even be boxing.
I think he beat Andre.
Well, he'd have to fight him.
Yeah, that's true.
He'd have to get in there with him.
But I think both him and Charlo beat Andre.
Well, I would have to see that. I'd have to see it. It's possible, but he'd have to be in there with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tug coming up with all the questions. Do you think Andre will get rid of Lane quickly because Williams so highly rated in the UK? I don't know, man. I think it's a kind of like a name on his resume that could probably help him, benefit him a little bit by having a okay name on there. You know what I'm saying? Being that he's at 160, I think it's a. I I don't know how that fight goes down because I haven't been watching Lane often of recent, so I'd have to check it out. But
And Leo Williams gonna give Demetrius Andre hella problems.
you think?
Leo Williams can cut the ring off well. He's a come forward fighter. He got power. He has a high work rate. That type of pressure is going to give, and he has a good chin. So he's not going to get popped and go down like Sulecki or Keelan.
Now you don't think?
I don't think he beats Andre. I got to be honest. I'm picking Andre to win, but I wouldn't be surprised if Leo Williams pulled it off. But he's going to have to stop Andre to do it.
I don't know.
I think they'll rob the shit out of him.
I mean, just going by what I do know, I don't give Lane Williams much chance in the fight. If Andre is 100%, I don't see it as a very close fight. I think maybe Lane has a few moments in the fight, but who doesn't when they in there with top notch competition? So yeah, I'd roll with Andre if I had to pick right now. But yeah, I'd have to look into it to see to really give you a take on how I would see the result. You know what I mean? So that's just my take on it. Yeah, but I'm not an Andre hater, but he does need a name. He does need to pack some seats. He does need somebody out there, but he needs somebody. Just keep it moving and just pick names, decent names, bigger names, and get in there and scrap with them if these guys ain't gonna give you a shot. And I'll continue to flame if guys ain't giving him a shot. You know what I mean? But
I think he gets full credit for this fight.
Yeah.
Well, I do. I give him full credit for this fight because I know what Leo Williams is. Leo Williams is going to be a tough opponent, man.
So it's a step in the right direction. Like I said, right? It's a step in the right direction to move forward with his career because his career been somewhat stagnant. So yeah, I mean, I think he's just one of those talented guys that have a stagnant career, kind of like I would have to say Tank. I mean, I know it's on a different level, but the competition has been stagnant for me when it comes to Tank. You know what I mean?
Oh no, it's on the same level. You got it about right because Jack Cole played Bonarosian and Sulecki. You know, yeah, that's Andre's top three. So Leo Williams is better than any of those guys, in my opinion. Because I think he actually has a chance to do something in there with Andre. I'll be remiss not to pick Andre. I would have to pick Andre to win this fight for sure.
Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think about? Do you think that Jamal Charlo's an improved fighter? I do.
Oh man, if people don't, then they just hating on the man because he showed a lot in that Dereverenchenko fight. A lot. He changed levels in that fight. His footwork looked better in that fight.
His timing. Everything.
His timing, and he was using his jab more effectively. I was impressed with Jamal Charlo and that. I still don't like him.
Right. I don't like the way he moves. I like the way Jamel moves better. Like Jamel he wants to smoke. I don't see that hunger outside of the ring in Jamal that I see in Jamel. Wow. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm always rooting for Jamel, but Jamal definitely an improved fighter inside them ropes. Like I think that he's a better fighter than Jamal. I mean Jamel. Jamal is the older brother.
No. Mel the dude, man. Damn, Jamal just catching up. Mel been good. Jamal just catching up. Jamal just knocking dudes out, bro. He beat up Adam. I think Adams and fucking Korobov and these guys.
But what I'm saying is I think the levels changed. I think even though Jamel is doing bigger things, I think his skill set is literally declining, and I think Jamal's is getting better because when I'd seen him in his last fight, even though he got the third title, I mean, I'm talking about in the ring. He didn't show me too much in that fight. like he just showed me that he's a killer in there, but he didn't show me much skill set at all. And he just was just going for the KO and throwing everything the same speed the whole night, like he usually fights, the same way he did with Harrison. I was just like, I seen that he. Don't get me wrong, he's in shape, so he carries that power late in the fight. But I don't see the skill set. I don't see him excelling within the ring. I do see Jamal doing it, but I want to see Jamal test himself some more. I want to see him get in there with a big name. I think that these guys, Jamal's late in his career to be where he's at and to be as talented as he is. You know what I mean? Like kind of like Andre. Is Jamal, is it much different? The difference is I think Andre can't get a fight and Jamal don't want one.
Yeah, you got that 2.5 year split too, and that makes a big difference, bro. And Andre, goddamn long in the tooth.
Yeah, long in the tooth. But I mean, this is a step in the right direction, and I hope that his clean lifestyle pays off in the end, kind of like with Bud Crawford. I hope that when these guys think they're going to age him out, but being that they have a clean lifestyle, they still going to get fresh guys in there. I'm hoping that we can still get like top-notch guys, because I think that's what the new narrative is. It's like, let's just wait for this guy to slow down. Let's age him out a little bit, and then we'll get in there with it. We've seen it a lot. We've seen it happen with I'm trying to think of his name. Sergio Martinez. They aged that dude out and then finally got in there with him. They did it with, I think, Triple G. Aged him out and then finally got in there with him. And I think they're trying to do that with guys like Andre. Just, all right, he and Bud. You know what I mean? They like, well, we'll just get these guys to age out a little bit. But if they got a clean lifestyle, man, you still going to get some fire in there. So, shit, if Bernard could do it, shit, his career was supposed to be over when he was 36. Everybody wrote him off against Trinidad. That dude fought until he was 50.
That's Spence Crawford, that Bud thing. Man, they just need the network want to pay for that, bro. That's why I keep telling everybody. It's not. That's pretty much how I got it pegged out, bro. Listen. Bob Arum Bob Arum tells on himself. Like, he already, Crawford's costing me money, blah, blah. All of the dumb shit he says. He's saying the same thing about Teal now. Allen them not trying to pay Crawford no $4 million. They're not trying to put together a package to satisfy what Spence wants to get, and then it'd be enough money that whatever percentage is $4 million.
Crawford, they gotta pay Crawford guarantee. Yeah, they gotta pay Crawford guarantee also. Plus, it's a big fight, so both these guys want what they worth, and they like, man, we don't know if you worth that though.
And neither network wants to pay for that fight. I don't. Right. And this is why, like, when Spence, like, we all know that, okay, we can hold Spence accountable.
I'm surprised the Zone ain't picked that fight up and just say, yo, we'll put up the dough to make it work.
It gotta go to purse bid for that to happen, and it ain't like, if we go to purse bid, they could snatch it up. That ain't a fight, but both of the guys got options.
Yeah, because there's no mandatory, so it can't be forced. Right. Because they both, it's a voluntary, unification. So that's what sucks. That's what sucks, man.
Yeah.
You're gonna incorporate a rule where it's like, yo, you can only be champ before you unify. You know what I mean? You can only be champ for 2 or 3 years, and then you gotta unify. That'd be dope. That'd be
1 year. It should be a 1 year rule, bro. We should start a petition for that. 1 year, you got 1 year before you try to unify. They should dump.
They should call it the King of the Hill rule. You gotta say that you can.
Yeah,
King of the Hill rule.
Yeah, I can't be just holding these dumps for that. Y'all gotta unify, but then that ain't gonna happen because these greedy ass sanctioning bodies, they don't want to share.
Hey, it's okay to wish, man. It's okay to, you know what I'm saying? Shit, fuck it, man. It's good to think about though, and then that would be definitely a step in the right direction. to get these unifications, because that's what you don't have in boxing today is the top guy. Who's the guy who really runs the division? You got everybody claiming to be A-side, guys that ain't champions, guys that are champions, talking about the seats. And it's like, well, there should be, things like tournaments and I think, and if you believe in your product and you believe in your fighter, these promoters won't have a problem doing it. And you might be surprised who comes out on the other side at the end of it. You know what I mean? And find out that why everybody been clamoring for these guys. This dude with no big promoter came through and whipped everybody ass. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, then he gets the big signing bonus, and then he gets the big money, and that's where it should be. The best fighters getting the most money, not the most famous fighters for not fighting the best. That's what I mean. That's what I like to see, and that's what I miss in the sport. And that's basically why I got a channel. You know what I'm saying? It's just to say, hey man, what about this? This is a good route too, because legacy equals money. If you pay attention, you know what I'm saying? Legacy equals money, but now you got dudes just just running with narratives like fighters and networks and promoters running with narratives, and that's what sucks. So that's why I enjoy hanging out on the UGC and talking to everybody in the boxing community, because that's what we need.
Did like in this day and time, I think that you got to do a lot. Like legacy does bring the money, but you got to do a lot more than this, because like you said, Crawford and Teofimo, they all did something. Well, Teofimo's on the brink of it anyway, doing the undisputed, and that should be valuable as fuck in this day and age. But it don't really mean nothing, because those dudes not really making the big bread. All of the young guns make more money than Teofimo, and he did the most, right? So it's like crazy.
Right, but that's that's where the problem lies. The problem lies is people praise the wrong shit.
Yeah,
they praising the wrong shit. Like, look how many followers he got. Look how many seats he gets. It's like they praising the bag when these guys are untested, and you know what I mean. And shout out to Ryan for his win. You know what I mean, against Campbell. I mean, I was happy for him. But at the same time, it's like then he just turned into this, okay, I'm fighting Tank. I'm fighting Manny. Yeah, let's make it happen. It's like he talking about shit that ain't even, not even discussing with his promoters what's going to happen. And come on, man. Floyd Mayweather and Oscar De La Hoya working together on a fight. Like, could you imagine that bickering just in the contract? Could you imagine? These dudes can't stand one another. You know what I mean? They hate each other's guts. Did y'all actually think that shit was going to happen? Fuck no. This dude was stealing dude's bag. Like, these dudes, ever since they fought, they've been bitter. Like, ever since, they can't stand one another. You think these dudes going to sit down in a room and not both say that they the A side and say fuck you and shit? It's like I could just see the pissing match at the bargaining table. It would never get past it. They would never get past it. And then a Manny, like, do you really think that fucking with all the trouble and all the money that De La Hoya got come up with, you think he throw his golden goose in there with a killer like Manny Pacquiao? A stiff dude like that? Like, that would be horrendous for the dude's career and for your promotional company. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. And what I really don't understand is why Ryan is in position for a WBC shot, and he talking about fighting a mandatory. And I'm like, he's stealing a mandatory.
Both of them ridiculous. Both of them ridiculous because they both mandatories for a belt, but they're deciding to fight each other. The worst thing is Javier Fortuna. You called out Devin Haney as soon as he beat. As soon as he beat Losado, he called out Devin Haney. When Ryan Garcia, I guess he figured out he wasn't going to get the Pacquiao fight because I don't know why he didn't figure that out. As soon as he said that, I said it's a hoax. I got a video up saying that was a hoax. But Javier Fortuna's team, they never instated their mandatory. Bill Haney and them sent them the money they asked for. They agreed. They gave them all the agreements. Sent it to them. They said, "All right, everything agreed." And Javier Fortuna and his team didn't activate their mandatory status because they got a win from Oscar and them that they could potentially get the Ryan fight. So now they take some money. So Javier Fortuna can't come after this talking about Devin Haney ducking me. Or I want bro. That's the second time. The first time I could understand him turning the fight down because he had a path to Lomachenko, right? So that was the first time, and no way he's coming off that path because he was locked up with Linares, and then the winner would have gotten Lomachenko. So there's no way he was going to come off of that to fight Devin Haney. But you called out Devin Haney after you beat Lozado. As soon as he beat Lozado, this is the same dude that beat up Felix Verdejo when he first came back. Javier Fortuna beat him. And as soon as he beat Lozado, he called out Devin Haney. Mauricio Sulaiman mandated him to the WBC title, and now he's talking about fighting Ryan Garcia. Both of them ducking Devin Haney. Both of them.
Yeah, and I think it's more of a chess move to basically say that who is Haney for? So if you stealing his Mandos, you know what I'm saying? Like, but what has he done?
Well, no, he's still got a good opponent. He's still got a good opponent.
Because, and who?
Linares.
Linares, but
yeah, they're going to get Linares if Javier Fortuna's team don't sign the contract.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, throwing Linares in there because he's hot and cold. Either he's on or he's not, and he's a good fighter, so he's a threat.
It's a step up. It's a step uphill though from Gamboa.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hell yeah. I would think so too. But I'm saying, like, if you're stealing Mandos, I just think it's a chess move. But yeah, but still in all, if he beats Linares, then what Ryan gonna do? And I don't even know where Tank stands in it. Does he even got a legitimate title at 135?
No, he's got the regular. So same title you got in Ugas and Jamal James just got. Not Ugas. Jamal James just got elevated to the regular when Ugas got elevated up. That's the belt Tank has at 135, the regular.
And that goes back to the narrative of the Pretty Boy and Money Mayweather. These dudes acting like Money May without being Pretty Boy. Like they don't want to go get the titles, and they just, it's just funny business. Like everybody moving suspect as fuck. You know what I mean? Like I don't care for it, to be honest with you, because it's in line. You in line for a WBC shot where you could just chuck that baby belt out. But the moment you get in line, you say fuck the belts. Like, since when does Mandos and guys in line step out of the line and say, I'm gonna fight the guy behind me? You know what I'm saying? When you right there and you just beat a Campbell, like, why? It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense.
It's unbelievable, but in a sense, man, bro, as greedy as these promotional companies are, I can't even blame some of these guys, fam. I can't, because like you take Javier Fortuna, he been fighting. He never seen $1 million payday. Never. The whole time he been fighting, he never seen $1 million payday. And it's a good chance he wouldn't see it against Devin Haney, because they're not gonna pay him that kind of money. They probably pay Javier Fortuna $500,000-600,000, whereas Ryan, he'll get $1 million payday.
And that goes back to the first thing that I said. These guys celebrating all the wrong shit. They're getting boasted up for all the wrong things, and then it makes it tough on the fighters when you got the WBC pulling all they shenanigans and shit. So then the fighters got to take the heat, but you don't ever see fucking Suleiman come out and take the flame for these guys. He just throwing certificates at each other, people, and belts at people, and saying, no, it's okay, and then switching it up whenever he get interviewed, depending on who he talking to. Like that I think that dude is not, and WBA ain't much further away from that either, man. Like
The
Franklin and Bobby,
WBA and the WBC neck and neck. Garbage.
yeah, man, it's fucking getting corny,
Garbage.
man. Real talk, man. Well, I got some things to do, but I appreciate you coming on, D, and everybody that came through in the chat. Shout out to my whole team and the UGC and everybody else out there. I really appreciate the support, guys. And I'm about to call it quits for the day. I got shit to do.
I want to. All right, fam.
All right, man. Peace, everybody.